It's like, his love is so confusing, it's so complicated and hard to understand. I wish I could talk about it in a separate message. It's so good. It's like, but then most people think, oh, okay, cool, he loves us. Case closed, we can go home now because he loves us. We can, get away with a few things. And it's like, oh, for Pete's sake, a one-way relationship does not work. God's going to love you, but you're going to have to love him back to keep that cycle going. You know what I mean? Yeah. And these rules are there for a really good reason. Those rules are there because relationships do have boundaries. And relationships do require work. If they didn't, I'm pretty sure there would be no such thing as divorce, because relationships they can be hard at some times. They're like walking on a really long road. You're going to reach boulders, that's for sure. You're never going to avoid these boulders. They do require a lot of work. And these rules in the Bible are not rules that, they're not just ordinary classroom rules. They're rules for your relationship with God, for your whole life. These rules, if you obey them, you're going to lead a really good life. You're going to have a really good relationship with God. So, if you look at the 10 Commandments and imagine disobeying them, they all have bad consequences. And Jesus knows that they have bad consequences. So he's saying, don't do these things. So you're going to face these consequences, you know what I mean? So you look at them, okay? Don't murder. It's like, I will not murder. There is like 1 in a million chance that I will murder in my life. It's like, don't commit adultery. Geez, if I commit adultery, I'll probably hurt a lot of people, but I am not going to commit adultery. And it goes, honor your mother and father. You're like, well, okay, I might have said a few bad things to my parents, but that's on the side when you guys don't lie. And you're just like, okay. Your thoughts begin to wander. You're silent now because you know that there has been boundaries in your life where you've crossed over them. You have disobeyed God in your life. That's just the fact. And Jesus is saying, I love you, but do these things I command of you so you don't scar me and in this relationship. Because unbelievers look at us. You might not realize it, but they're watching us. And now we are pretty much like, not exactly, we're sort of examples of Jesus. We're kind of like, we represent Christian, we represent God. So now you're thinking, oh snap. I'm an example of Jesus. Whoops. And so when they look at you, they're expecting to see stuff that Jesus would do. That you might not know, realize it, but unbelievers are looking at you and they're testing you. They are testing you. I listened to a talk about this at youth once and it was really, really good because they're testing you. They might not admit it, but they're secretly, waiting for you to crack. They're thinking, there's a really good party on Sunday, come on, you have to come along. It's one Sunday, it's going to be the day, so everyone from school's going to be there, you know what I mean? So you're thinking, one party, one Sunday gone, it's okay. And they're like, yes, you did it. So obviously, they don't love God as much as they say. Their little victory there. So what I'm saying is they look at you like this. To build a church, we must focus on our lives to reach their lives. We must make sure that our lives are in order to get to others. We must focus on our windows to show people the light. When it comes to building a church, we should be devoted to Him. Do you have smudges in your life? Are you swearing, drinking, saying bad things, talking behind your mum's back? Are you missing Sundays, bringing people down, even unconsciously? Are you thinking of people in the wrong way? If you want people to honour leaders and authority, you have to stop talking bad about your boss. If you want people to come to church, you've got to stop missing Sundays. It's obvious. You don't have to even be doing bad things to get your window affected. If you put God number 2, your window's going to get foggy. You know those fog bathroom windows? Basically, you put God number 2, it's going to start fogging up. Put God number 3, well, there's more fog. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like, oh, my money is so important, my job is so important, my family is so important. And it's going to get more and more foggy, and eventually it's going to cut off so much light. These people are not going see the light if you just keep fogging your glass up. So if you want people to see the perfect and whole, amazing light of God, you're going to have to put him in the centre of your life, because there is no other way. This is only a one-way street. You can't walk somewhere else and you'll get the same, destination. You're going to have to go on a one-way street, and that's putting God in the centre of your life. We're not perfect. We all know that. And the thing to remember is that God is. And 2012 is going to be a whole new year. So let's not scar the light with those smudges and fogged up glass. Because they're going to look through this window and see those smudges before they see the light. These things are going to block off little light from God. And in 2011 and everything, if we're going to lead these believers and everything, we're going to have to do a lot more things in our lives. One of the important things is to pray, because my grandma always said prayer was powerful. She even has it on a little clock thing, a little grave. Prayer does change things, and it does. Prayer is so powerful. Like, most people miss this. Prayer is supernatural. You may be able to say and do things, but prayer, if you want something to happen inside the world, pray. You don't have to it is not physical. It does not have a physical form. It does not need to travel. If you pray, it gets there instantly. So, if you want people to come to church, if you want to see souls in heaven, then we're going to have to focus on God. In Nehemiah 2:18, that verse, it says, "So they said, 'Let us rise up and build.' Then they set their hands to the good work." Their hands, their lives. Let us rise up and build. Then they set their hands to this good work. They devoted not $20 as the offering. They didn't help an old lady across the road. They devoted themselves to God. And so we must work on the roots of the church to reap the fruit. If we want to run, we must run to finish the race to get the trophy. We must fight. We must have God in our lives to show people in Helensburgh this isn't another church where you're going to come and get free tea and coffee. It's going to be a church where you're going to be changed, miraculously changed. We're going to show them that this is a church where you're going to find peace and joy that you've never felt before. Supernatural peace and joy. We're going to help them find Jesus. This is a church, not for tea and coffee, not a social gathering. This is a church for Jesus. This is why this church is here. So let's get our lives in order. Let's start 2012 now with smudges and marks of dirt, the sky goes light, and a clean window. Let's get ready for a whole new year. It might be tough, but remember Luke 18 verse 27, what is impossible with man is possible with God. So it might be really hard. I mean, our church isn't, Hillsong. It's not massive. But Jesus was once one man. In the whole world, he was once one guy. And he left this earth only to 11 people. 11 people! And you're worried that our church is not going to last. He left this world to only 11 normal, ordinary men, but they had God. That's the only difference that they had. They had this supernatural God. And what God is asking of you is to make this one-way relationship a two-way relationship. I want you to think about it this week. Are you smearing dirt or are you showing God's light? Next time you have a decision, think about God. Put God number one. Do you think God would do that? Do you think God would want me to do that? Are you going to be marking the window? Are you going to be cleaning it? You've got to think about it. Next time, people are talking about your boss, for an example. Next time you join in, think about it, because as soon as you join in, they're going to go, she's Christian, she's talking about her boss bad. Oh, she's so bad. You're going to have to get there. It's going to be a hard decision because gossip is really easy. Everyone knows that. It's so easy to slip into. Next time you come to that decision, say no. Jesus, if he was right here, he would be saying, what are you talking about? He would not. He would not join. So you've got God inside you. You've got God. You're a follower of God. If you want to honour God, if you want to obey around you, you want to keep this relationship a strong bond, then don't go and join in. So, yeah, just think about this week next time you come to all these tough decisions and whatever. And I'm going to hand it over to, who was it? Scott.